This is the reading of pages 82 to 84. Sargon the Mighty. To the north of Sumer lay the land of Akkad. The Akkadians had for many years lived side by side with the Sumerians. Over time, they began to copy many of the Sumerian ways. From the Akkadians came a ruler destined to conquer Sumer and build one of the world's first great empires, Sargon the Mighty. There were many legends about Sargon. One says that he was a man of humble origins, brought up by a gardener who found him as a baby floating in a reed basket on the Euphrates River. Another story says that he grew up as a servant in the royal palace of Kish. He became the trusted cupbearer who at every meal poured wine for the king and then became king himself. Such are the stories. We don't have much reliable evidence about Sargon's personal life, but we know a good bit about his career as a ruler. And we know that he was one of the world's first great empire builders. Sargon organized the Akkadians into a strong fighting force and became their military king. This is how he described himself. Sargon the Mighty, king of Akkad, am I. He was indeed mighty. About 2300 BC, he moved his army south. One by one, he conquered the cities of Sumer. And for the first time, Sumer fell under foreign rule. Sargon began to call himself King of Sumer and Akkad. The kings of the city-states were forced to pay money and goods to Sargon, the conqueror. And if you see the map up here, here's Sumer. Every day, life in Akkad and Sumer did not change all at once. The work of irrigating and producing food went on as before. Gradually, however, Sargon's reign brought important changes. For example, the language of the Akkadians became the language of government. The Akkadians, however, adopted the cuneiform writing of the Sumerians. They used it to put their own language into written form. So now a second language was written in cuneiform. The Akkadians also began to worship Sumerian gods. As the years passed, the two cultures borrowed from each other, blended, and gradually produced something new. Sargon united all the Sumerian city-states and Akkad into an empire, and then added other lands until he controlled all of Mesopotamia. The map on page 84 shows how his empire eventually stretched. He must have made raids with his army over long distances. He may even have reached the coasts of the Black Sea and the Mediterranean. As his armies traveled and his empire expanded, Sargon spread civilization over a wider area. Sargon the Mighty turned out to be not only a strong general, but a wise ruler who reigned for 56 years. He built a magnificent capital city named Agade to be the center of his empire. He was one of the first kings to keep a permanent army to help control his realm, and one of the first to appoint governors to help rule over conquered cities. So this is a stone relief, and it shows Sargon with some couriers, maybe messengers. Okay, so here's that map, and you can see, so Sumer was down here. Okay, let's see, Sumer in the early days. Okay, and then here is the empire of Akkad under Sargon. Okay, and there's the Mediterranean Sea, and here's Mesopotamia, the land between the rivers. Okay, and then so he spread um, his empire all over. And it's not showing, I'm not showing Akkad, but here is Agade, his uh, capital. As Sargon's empire grew, so did his fame. One legend tells of merchants in a distant city who heard of his wisdom and begged him to come settle a quarrel. When Sargon finally showed up to see them, the sight of him alone was all that was needed to settle the dispute. Yet Sargon did not have an easy time ruling his vast empire. He set a pattern of rule that continued throughout much of the Middle East's history. His armies did not settle down with the people they conquered. Instead, they simply made their new subjects give them food or other goods. Of course, the Sumerians did not like this treatment. Sumerian city-states often tried to revolt. They wanted a bigger share in the good things civilization brought. Not only did Sargon have trouble with rebellious city-states, but he also had to deal with the nomads living on the frontiers who were always waiting to attack. In the end, his empire became too large for him to control easily. In his lifetime, Sargon fought more than 30 wars, trying to keep his empire all in one piece. His grandson, in turn, pushed the boundaries of the empire beyond Mesopotamia. When Sargon's grandson died, however, invaders overran the land. The empire of Sargon the Mighty, one of the first great empires in all of history, came to an end. That's the reading of pages 82 to 84.